So, guys, it's David here, and it is currently day 368. I hope you guys had an amazing Saturday, and of course, are doing better than yesterday. But there's something I want to talk about at work today. And for a long time, I have labeled people as entitled, as bitchy, as haters, as doubters, or as disbelievers. I label people as such because whenever I try to have a conversation or whenever I try to get to know others better or when I try to share my beliefs to others, all I get back is either open or end close-ended answers, replies, or perhaps just very hateful comments or just plain disbelief, right? And just very banal talk. And the reason I labeled people, right, colleagues, certain friends, strangers as such, is because I have failed to really see things from the other person's point of view. You see, I was so self centered and I was so materialized in life that I thought that people are like this because their personality is just totally messed up. That they are not like me, they don't think like me, therefore they don't understand me. Now, there's no wrong in my thinking, right? There's no wrong in my prior thinking, but the only flaw in logic with how I used to think and how I used to approach the situation by just labeling people as such is that does not change anything for me, right? That does not give me the opportunity to improve the things that I am incompetent at. That does not improve my competency. Why? Because when I label people as perhaps entitled, bitchy, and this and that, I am simply just saying, look, I don't know how to deal with these people, right? I don't know how to entertain a conversation, or I don't know how to convey my ideas across in another way that they or this individual can understand. So I failed in this arena. I failed in this aspect of communication, of social dynamics. But because to improve on my social dynamics with such individuals is an unfamiliar objective, which I have never understood for my entire life. Therefore, I have a lot of resistance to practice this skill and craft. And by labeling people and by pointing fingers at people and saying that, oh, you're just a hater, you're just a doubter, you're a entitled white girl, so you don't understand me, so why should I try and talk to you, right? But by doing this, sure, I may make myself feel better by putting away the blame, by just saying that this person is just like this, so it's not my fault. And there may be some truth to that. But does that give me the opportunity to start look in the reflection and see my own flaws? No, and that is where my flaw in logic lies. Because blaming others and labeling others as such might make you feel good or might take off the burden and stress you have because you unconsciously understand that it is your fault for not possessing the abilities and skills to communicate in a way where each individual can understand what you mean. Right? That is my flaw. And by not seeing things from the other person's point of view, I have not had the opportunity to improve on this flaw because for a long time it was never my fault, right? It was never my fault because how can it be my fault or how can I understand it to be my fault when I have just simply labeled people as such? And this revelation did not come to me until I started to treat life with positive energy. Because to live with hate and to live with all this negative emotions, to live with vengeance and stuff, yes, you may survive, you may perhaps have a drive to conquer life, but you are essentially radiating all this hate onto others and you're having this me against the world mentality. And sometimes when you have this mentality, you neglect a lot of things that you have to improve on, right? You neglect a lot of things and you falsely understand things that it was actually your fault, that it was actually your problem all along, that you cannot communicate with such people, that you cannot get the certain things you want because it was probably never their fault, right? It was never their fault, but it was your own arrogance and egotism that made you so blindly to see the truth, and that the truth is there was some flaw within you, right? There were some incompetencies within your abilities, and because you choose to see everybody else as the enemy or everybody else as the entitled person, that you forget to see that you are actually entitled yourself, that you are not perfect, right? That you have a lot of ego, and that you certainly are not the person who should be pointing fingers at others and to blame others for your own unhappiness. Because that was the mentality I had possessed, right? This mentality to prove my doubters wrong, to prove the haters wrong, to prove everybody wrong. I mean, even to prove myself wrong, because I thought that everybody else was the enemy and also me. But the truth is, guys, when you start treating life with positive energy, and when you just succumb to that feeling of gratitude and live life on a positive frequency, you no longer are self-centered, right? You stop being so self-centered and you start to feel what other people are feeling. You start to almost see, and it is as if you have telekinesis and you can just like sense what other people are in a way feeling about you, in a way thinking about you. And this just made me understood that, perhaps people don't want to talk to me in a certain way, or perhaps people don't want to engage in deep conversation, or perhaps certain things have not came my way, is simply because I have failed to share my ideas, that I have failed to communicate with people in a deep level, and that I have failed to display myself in the utmost of manners. And because of this, I just realized that, it is really not other people's fault. And you can say it is everybody else's fault. You can say people are entitled, the world is unfair, this and that, your family is screwed up, and so. And the bottom line is, they may all be the truth, right? They may all be the fact. And yes, you have nothing wrong to see life or the people as such. There's nothing wrong with how you perceive things, but what is that going to get you in life? Like, what is that simply going to give you in life? Because all that has given me is a relief of knowing that I don't have to improve some flaws in my life, right? A relief knowing that I can stay the way I want and not improve on myself and act as if everything will be okay, that things will change if I don't change, because it is never my fault, right? That is the only thing blaming someone else for your own failures can do for you, is to take off this extra burden, take off this perhaps stress, knowing that you don't have to improve in life because it is not your fault. But we have to understand that, yes, people won't change, right? People, majority of the chances won't change. They will stay the way they are. Their personalities will perhaps be the same for however long it takes. But there's one thing that it is within our control that we can change. Yes, they may not want to talk to you. You may not have the success you want at the moment. But by blaming, by labeling the world as unfair and uneven, it is not going to change the fact that this person still does not want to talk to you, that the world still will not give you the riches you desire. The only thing can change this is yourself. By improving on the things you know you suck at, and by building your competence and abilities, you may then get the things you want. And that is to understand that You have to let go of your ego. You have to let go of your own entitlement and understand that the only thing that truly matters and the only thing that you should give a shit about is your own flaws, is your own inadequacies and your own incompetence. Improve on yourself, right? Take the signs of other people's criticism, disdain, and condemnation as a sign for your improvement. And take that opportunity to embrace your own self improvement rather than blaming and labeling others as unjust and unfair. So, with that being said, this is all I have to say. And I do hope you guys had learned something from this. But if not, like always, I'll be here for you guys tomorrow. But until then, good night.